Hey there! I'm the stupid superhero! As an apology for taking this long for releasing part 2 of the top 10 specials, I, your fellow leader of the stupid team, is gonna read all your Patreons out loud in the best way as I can. Okay, let's see. Movie Meltdown, Julio Martell, Wes Franklin.
Look, you waited long enough as is, and there is no way you'll sit through all that. Just cut to the damn video. And the number 5 spot goes to... Here is your bribe, sir. The Renard City Review. Oh boy, I'm almost not surprised that this review made it this far into the list. Maybe it's because viewers are much more interested when you go all AVGN and just yell, curse, and metaphorically shat on something instead of bringing in more praise than a helicopter parent during a school play.
This review is our first one in Series 3 without Katie in it, but it's also our first webcomic, paid commission video, and so far our most angriest review we ever did so far.
Pretty much for a number of reasons. The guy who draws us personal life clashes with his work on our videos, thus resulting into a lot of stress, and the fact that the comic he reviewed was, well, to put it bluntly, it's hot garbage run by a guy who obviously mistaken criticism as slander and is too damn proud of not taking criticism and just simply start all over and improve upon his many mistakes.
Geez, Mr. Hand, you're kind of being a butthead there. Wait, that's normal.
Well, based on what our commissioner told us, I am not surprised.
Okay, where do I begin with this fiasco? I would have to say it all started when I saw the comic itself being posted on Tumblr by Great PTA. So I thought, oh goody, it's another inflation comic I could get into. Only when I actually saw the comic, it was... I don't want to explain about it. But I ended up wanting to meet the guy who created the story in order to be able to offer my services as a comic book artist. Rob Turner was his name, Renard City was his game, and he was really good at it. But I offered my services nonetheless. I even begged him to allow me to work for no pay. I was more interested in the forums and the stories that were going on there in the roleplays rather than working on the comic book. But when I couldn't be able to focus enough on the comics, I decided, hey, why don't I get someone that I know to be able to make a review about it? So, enter Maurice Dixon, aka my friend Ralph Bear. Him and the stupid team ended up doing the review about it, and I am going to strangle that sock puppet for as much of the air as possible for ending up making the review come out as if I paid for a slander review! But it all turned out well enough in the end, considering the asshole Ralph Turner thought I hated him because he thought I actually paid for a review that was horrible. And ended up going to another reviewer just to be able to make it look like it was sunshine and rainbows. My god, I wish that idea of his was in somebody else's hands instead of his own. But with him coming out with a actual change up in the entire formula, I'm hoping it actually does come out better for it. Me, personally, I'm gonna feel sorry for who has to work with him.
Paying someone off to do a fake nice review of his not-so-good comic? People don't like being lied to, Mr. Turntable.
Usually we here in the stupid team are more open-minded and careful whenever we critique other people's work. But man, is this comic a hot mess. It was so frustrating to analyze the story, characters, and whatever that I say, find me in the Alps, and instead did a how not to type video review instead.
Okay, guilty as charged.
when we come off very mean-spirited in the entire review and trying not to come off as the worst aspects of the YouTube community. Not pointing any fingers here because, well, some people just don't know how to behave themselves, okay? And the guy who voiced us has this habit where he speaks really, really fast and incoherent sometimes, and it really shows here in the video to the point where he had to Frankenstein his audio tapes into something more understandable. Our voice got better later.
Well, maybe we could just dial back all the angry, maybe Rob Turnips will listen and take the critiques instead of seeing us as the bad guys.
I doubt it. Talk about your lost cause.
Number 4, The Killing Joke. This is my favorite review we've ever done. Corey Lowe is a total genius, and all the artists who worked on us had a great idea of what we would look like as Batman characters, which raises all kinds of existential questions that I am not prepared to deal with. The movie itself got a lot of undeserved flack, but our review was golden.
At first, I didn't want to be involved in this, maybe even considering doing it much later. But, well, things happened that tickled my smug bone, and I had the strongest urge to prove someone wrong. Yeah, the video itself is more traditional recipe in terms of review structure, being more focused and analytical like that other Batman video, and with a much smaller cast with me and Katie raising hell.
When RB contacted me with the offer to edit one of his reviews, I of course checked out his channel and saw a lot of his other reviews to see how they were set up, and seeing how they had a lot of similarities to I Love Compossible Lots reviews, I figured I'd help him out since I was already familiar with the editing style. I remember that he gave me 3 different choices on what to edit, and I ended up choosing Batman and the Killing Joke. Even though it was controversial, I chose it just because Batman is personally one of my favorite superheroes. Okay, so the hardest thing wasn't actually the review itself. It was the fact that I had made it 1/4 of the way through the entire review, setting it up, and this is a 20-minute review, and I had lost all that progress from a hard drive failure. So then I had to go out, buy everything, install everything back onto my computer, and then do everything all over again. But if there's one thing that I can say that was actually nice about the whole situation was the fact that when I contacted him, I expected him to be upset, but he was actually really understanding with the fact of me losing everything. So definitely props to him for being really understanding, because I was under a lot of stress at the time. When I was finally able to re-edit everything, RB definitely kept in contact for any questions or any troubles that I had to deal with throughout the entire thing. And sometimes we'd even stay in a Skype call for a good hour or so just talking about the history of Batman just for the fun of it. The review itself actually wasn't that hard to put together, except for one scene where it was the comic book strip part, which I had to make that whole thing by scratch because the plugin for After Effects to actually make one of those things is I think around $300. And seeing how I don't have the type of money to spend that much on a single plugin for an effect, I just ended up doing the whole thing in Premiere. And if there's one thing that I can take away from this whole learning experience is the fact that I really need to learn After Effects a lot more and utilize it because I have it and do not use it for some reason. I guess I'm just stubborn that way. Overall, it was a good experience stepping out from my usual editing review content and trying something new for a change. And if any one of you are interested in in-depth analysis of Batman and the Killing Joke, or just a fan of Batman in general like I am, I highly recommend that you go and check out the review.
Hey, this is the Muffetta from Brooklyn, or just Muffetta. I, along with many other illustrators, are one of many RB Comics' title card illustrators. I'm mostly an illustrator, but I would like to expand my horizons in many other mediums. I honestly thought it was really difficult for me to get to doing these comic strips that I was planning, well, he wanted me to do for his prologue of the video for The Killing Joke. And if I had not jumped the gun, I would have thought he would have found somebody else, but I wanted to because I wanted to get my doodle drive back, and hopefully draw some more, and you know, a few moments later, or maybe a few weeks down the line, finally I can get stuff done. And I also got his prologue comics done as well. It was kind of fun, mainly just to draw the expressions out. I didn't do it in the same style as how they did it in the comic books, but I tried the best that I can to where it kind of looks a little sketchy and dirty, but at the same time it evokes something out of it. And I tried to do my best not to copy it, but emulate that. I honestly thought the scenario between Mr. Hand and Kitty as being Batman and the Joker, I know there was going to be some chemistry when RB and Brea were going to be doing something like this, and honestly, when the whole thing played out, I laughed. And I know to some people it may not be funny, but to me it is. I mean, hell, I can give them some credit. They did their best, they've done it, and I thought it was absolutely perfect the way they did it, the timing. And I honestly wish I would have done more with the comic panels, but at the same time, it wouldn't fit the entire page for the very prologue that they were doing. But overall, it was all great. Everything worked out in the end.
So appreciate the clickbait. I mean, at least you got some really cool panel sequences and off-script visual gags. And how about that rain? Number 3, Unico and the Island of Magic.
This is easily, by far, the most visually pretty of the bunch. From the trio of editors, including our own Mr. Dixon, giving you the most star-blazing looking video that stayed true to the unexpected treat of Unico.
This is another one of our commissioned reviews that we took time and dedication to make sure Platinum Man Axel has his money well worth spent. Who knows? We should make a sequel. Hint, hint.
This review, I'll say, is the best balance of comedy in reviewing a film that, at first, we didn't care for because G rating and unicorns. But managed to find something that's actually deep and whatever cheesy morality crap like that, and welcome this anime into our heart.
And it was the debut of my little brother Leo, who is still one of the only little kid characters that the lady who voices me doesn't want to tie in a sack and throw in the river. Actually, that happened a few times this review. That baby unicorn has the right stuff to make him a compelling character. And Karuko is still an amazing villain and disco accessory.
With the addition of Kitty's entertaining performance as Leo and West Wind's this review was a fun comical roller coaster ride from beginning to end and deserves the number 3 spot.
Ralph came and he asked me, he said, hey, I'm doing something with Unico, do you want to be a part of it? I said, sure, why not? He said, I know you really like Tezuka and all of his work, so I was like, okay, I'll do it, I'm cool with it. So we got into a Skype call, we talked about it, we edited it and stuff like that, I recorded my lines. I was also the little kid, Leo. I voiced him as well. I don't think I sound like a little kid, but apparently that's what he wanted, and I pulled it off what he thought was wonderfully. And yeah, doing a review was very interesting because I'm always the voice actress. I'm never really a reviewer. So this is a new spectrum medium for me, minus doing cringe compilations with Mindless Gonzo and friends. So it was really an interesting sort of perspective that I could get behind. Would I do it again? Maybe. I don't mind it, but I just don't feel as if my forte. But then again, who knows? Maybe my forte is everywhere in the ballsack. Anyway, it was a lot of fun to do. It was a lot of me learning about how the whole reviewing world works. I don't really know much still. There's still probably a lot that I have to learn. And either way, I was very honored and happy to be a part of this. So yeah, thanks for inviting me, and I hope that maybe we can collaborate again soon. Bye.
Number 2, Meet the Feebles. Meet the Feebles! We're not your average, ordinary people. Hey, there's a poodle in this movie.
The review that we are forever known for. The review where the stupid team are on the map.
For obscure reviewer standards.
And the review where viewers will say, this guy made that?
This review, Meet the Feebles, is our first Halloween special. Well, unintentionally at the time, but oh boy do the months fly by. In the first appearance of Toxic Soul 77 in the role of Shiro Fox. To this very day, I am still stunned that this review is as popular as it was back when I uploaded today. Just like Doug Walker's feelings about his review on Batman and Robin, I never truly thought Feebles was our best work. Not because the film horrified me or anything. Honest opinion, I love this movie, by the by. It's because my creator's personal life got away and his heart wasn't entirely in it while making it through all the stress. He thought it was, but apparently my fancy otherwise.
Could it be the high of our crossover with Bob's show that started off the video's rise of success? Could it be the fact that Peter friggin' Jackson did a movie this shocking to all the straights? The world may never know for all I know or care. This review is like a chaotic roller coaster ride from beginning to end. You'll keep guessing on what messed up stuff that comes around the corner in this video. From the nice boat gag to Toxie bailing from the video.
Nope, I'm done.
And me just giving up on reality. It was not pleasant. It's cool to know that this review was all started because of a friendly suggestion to one of our fans.
Ah, yes. Meet the Feebles. Honestly, not quite sure how I stumbled upon it. All I remember is that I found it on YouTube. Someone had uploaded the whole thing for free. After watching it, I had to know more about it. It was one of those, wow, that was fucked up. Is there more to this? So I looked it up, and lo and behold, it was made by Peter freaking Jackson of Lord of the Rings fame. It was like, wow. Yeah, everyone does, crap when they're first starting off in showbiz, but it's kind of hard to picture Peter Jackson making a movie like that after, making the Lord of the Rings trilogy. After seeing it, and then I find out Ralph Bear was going to start doing reviews of movies, and I was like, dude, I know the very first movie you have to review, and it's Meet the Feebles. So him and I and a few of his buddies do like a group viewing online, and well, let's just say I'm kind of surprised I didn't hear any of his buddies like grabbing for the nearest vomit bag. And thanks to that review that he did, the number of subscribers on his YouTube channel doubled. So, yeah, I take pride in that. As for the review video itself, it was pretty funny. They do a pretty good job of, pointing out just how messed up it is, and, I love the little Jerry Seinfeld bit. Granted, it was only his very first movie review, but of course you can tell, but even then, you can tell by quality that, again, he puts in the effort, he goes out of his way. I mean, there are so many reviewers that just half-ass it and just, all they do is just show themselves talking and just show some clips of the movie, or they just use still images throughout the whole thing, but not Ralph Bear. Ralph Bear actually takes the time to, try to, at least make it, goes out of the way to try to make it so it's just more than just some critic going on and on about something, the fact that he did a, great review for something I suggested, just brings a smile to my face. So, yeah. Peter Jackson.
I would like to mention some of the pitfalls in the review. The pacing is chaotic, trying to match up with the equally messy structure of the film. Toxic Soul 77's performance, while having some moments here or there, shows that she's not a voice actress since some of the delivery is kind of wonky in certain scenes. Thank God that this is the last video where we use a crappy microphone and switch up to a Blue Yeti in future videos since then.
Overall, I will agree that this is the video where we found our style. From my positive analytical nature throughout the film, Mr. Hand's laid-back, sassy, and cynical response towards questionable moments in the film, and Stupid's brand of the Lowe me so random humor. Plus, this is a review where we pride ourselves as a group who like to review and kindly handled the weird shit movies that no sane reviewer will handle themselves.
Could it be that we have such a sick sense of humor that we could take on anything?
Probably.
Or could it be that since I'm a food junkie power moose, Ralph's a sexy grizzly bear, and Mr. Hand is a talking sock puppet, that anything weird did leaves us desystematized?
Weird, strange, eccentric, sick. That about covers it.
And finally, our number one pick of this video is Sonic.EXE Round 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Wow, how interesting that this managed to make it to the number one spot. But it was a fitting number one spot. This was the video that signals the finale of Series 2 and the beginning of the new era of the Stupid Reviews. Introducing the debut of the most enduring member of the team, Katie Lion.
Oh, my first review with the Stupid team. Good times. Good times. Except that part where my brain popped. That set me back a bit. But you know what? This story was a setback in the progression of literature. Every mistake and plot hole was a minefield, ready to blow the leg off any reader careless enough to get caught by one. I wasn't really experienced with review videos before this, but boy did I learn a lot in a short amount of time. Like that people really responded to that Count costume.
I can see what, darling? It feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah! Stupid sexy DeeDee! This is like our third and final? No? Okay. The third creepypasta review in our series, and it was the biggest one of the bunch. Story-wise, character-wise, and everything else but the kitchen sink. From the epic JC Hyena rant reenactment to Julio's take on reading of the story and showcasing Katie's combinations of Ralph's analyticalness, Mr. Hand's snacky humor, and with a dash of Babs Bunny's cosplay schmexiness. Right, DeeDee?
See, someone appreciates a woman in fashion.
I'll show you, you poofy hair bitch.
Sonic.EXE Round 2. Oh boy, I'll be honest. I kind of wanted to not go through with it when I heard that that's what we were going to be reviewing. But since I was the one that wanted to help out, Ralphie here, I went through with it. Though, admittedly, I didn't do much. I mean, even a reviewer once pointed out that Mike didn't really contribute much. I served nothing more as just another cutesy face that was only going to be around temporarily. I mean, Katie Lion, for example, was a really great addition. Mike said, on the other hand, was just a discount Stupid Moose, for example. Only he wasn't going to be around forever. That, and he didn't have much to contribute. Like I said, I wasn't really up for the challenge. I blindly jumped into this, hoping that I could help Ralphie, but I didn't face the fact that I'm not cut out for reviews. That and the stuff that we were reviewing, I tried my best to stay as far away from it as possible, and then when I found out that's what we were reviewing, I thought, no, crap. I don't know anything about this franchise, and mainly for a good reason. I am not a fan of creepypastas, but again, I read the script and did my part for Ralphie here, and I'd do it again. I just only hope that in the future, if I ever do more with him again in the future, geez, good grammar there, I only hope that I'll do better, and be more than just a cutesy face, as Mike said. So aside from all those things, it was yet again another fun gig that I enjoyed doing with some new friends, and again, would do it once more. It was a pleasure, and I didn't regret it.
Where the hell do I even begin with this horrible fiasco of a fanfiction? I call it a fanfiction and not a creepypasta because of the fact that it feels more like a fanfiction gone wrong. The writing for the detective was awful. The actual pacing of the entire thing was horrendous. And who the hell even thought it was a good idea to be able to make a part 2 of a bad creepypasta like Sonic.EXE? Me? Personally, I was happy to be able to voice a detective, only for the fact that I was put on the idea of being the detective by Ralph so that I could be able to come off as the gumshoe. Well, he wanted someone to actually play the gumshoe type, but I don't think I actually did as good as I thought I did. But I will say I was happy to feel like I was actually a part of the stupid team at that time. To me, it was like actually being hired to do something that was part of a strong talent of mine. And I actually figured that it was a jump starting point for me to be able to get into the groove of being a voice actor. So, I suppose I'll have to say, thank you Sonic.EXE Round 2 for giving me a chance to be able to voice act for the first time on a review that was based on kicking you in the ass and making sure that you understand never to do another story like you again. Even though, technically speaking, I'm doing a story that is going off the basis of the entire thing, but never mind about that.
And that's all we got for the Top 10 Special. Merry Christmas! Happy Dr. Seuss's birthday!
Hey, you want to find the warm holiday fuzzies? I heard that the green eggs and ham menu is looking good this time of year.
I am the terrier that yaps in the night. I am the errant nail clipper that cuts you to the quick. I am Darkwing DeeDee!